Hello, everyone. We're glad you're here today. Welcome to another episode of our live stream. And here you're going to be doing awesome front-end magic, and just wowing your screens and you with awesome things that you can actually learn from. So I'm Tobiloba, and I'm a front-end engineer, and yeah, I work with like several front-end technologies and do open source stuff a lot. So I'm glad to be here. And then Ali's on this side of my screen. Yeah, so Ali, what's up?
Yeah, this one. Okay, so in the name, God, so hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing great. So happy weekends. So to see you. We are back with another live stream. Like we are going to make a front end design and the logic with the React JS. So I think this is our
Mhm.
19th live stream, right, Toby?
Yeah, makes it
Okay.
19.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So let's do some short introduction. So my name is Ali. So it's been 2 years that I'm coding. Like I like to become a front-end developer because I like to add lots of amazing animation to the website. So that's why I'm a big fan of front-end developer. So let's for today's live stream. So we are going to make a form handle, like handling form, like how to add input, like how to add your name and the message so that we can see the name and the message on the screen when we submit the form. So we are going to make
Hmm.
this kind of project with React.js and also learn how to make this one. So
Yeah.
for like before we start coding it, like I'm going to showcase like what kind of project we are going to be working. So right now on the screen, we are seeing one input and one text area and a button for submitting the form. So for a demo, I'm going to write my name and a message, something like, it is working fine. When I submit the form, like it's loading, and you see when we submit the form, we are going to get this text like welcome, the name of the person, and this is the message that we wrote. Like it's working fine. So it's really cool. Like when you're working in a project, like a sign up page, or you want someone to tell you or send you a testimonial, then you can use this method, but on that time you have to know a database. But right now we are using a fake data, like for a demo, and yeah. So Toby, are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
am. I am born ready.
Okay, that's good. So
Yeah.
before the live stream, like we set everything up, like we have the React project and we also have the Tailwind because right now we are going to use the Tailwind. So if you don't know Tailwind, so Toby, can you give us a short information what Tailwind is?
Yeah, Tailwind is a front end framework, a CSS framework basically that basically helps you to write CSS in a way that you're not actually you don't actually feel like you're writing CSS because it's just like you're writing inline style as well. And then you basically it has a syntax though, a very unique syntax that it's like gives you sort of like an easy to work with CSS. So you don't really have to worry about having a separate file. You just put all your CSS part element on the
Mhm.
HTML or JSX directly. That's basically how Tailwind is. Like Bootstrap, but it's mostly utility classes.
Okay, so that's a nice short information about the Tailwind CSS. So,
Mm-hmm.
and also we got two files. So one is main.jsx and one is index.css, and one is app.css, which we will be working on with this file, and also
Mm-hmm.
assets like the logo and for to give you a short information like how to create React and Tailwind CSS. So all you need to do in the terminal, type npm create read and also a dot. So dot represent like you're going to create your Vite project in the same folder as you are right now. So I'm not going to do it, but if you want to create it, then you can use this CLI, which will create the
Mm-hmm.
file automatically. And also about the Tailwind
Mm-hmm.
CSS, so you can go to the tailwind.css documentation and framework guides and choose your framework or libraries. So we are using Vite, so I'm going to click this one and follow this step. and you
Mm-hmm.
can install the Tailwind CSS very easily, and you can continue the project.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's easy as that.
I think that's enough for me. So let's get back to coding. So if we see, like, we are going to make a component, like a component which we call it a form. So in src, I'm going to make a folder by the name of components. Inside of that, I'm going to say make a file by the name of form.jsx, not tsx. We are not using TypeScript. Okay.
TypeScript. Yeah.
Okay. So Toby, right now you can continue, bro.
Yeah, of course. Good job. Good job so far. I'm not sure if people from LinkedIn can see this though, but I think they can. But let me go ahead though and get this started. So
Okay.
import yeah. So basically, let me not even go that far. Basically, I want to create. Let me start by talking through what I want to create. So what I want to create is basically a form. We need a form that looks exactly like what Ali shows us. A form that would have an input and a text area, and then you can collect the name and then details of a user. And then when you click on submit, it just submits that detail, and then we use the data from that we collected from there to create another page. So I'm just passing the data down like through the components to another page so that we can display on the UI. Okay, that this is what the data we collected from the form is doing. Just like if you're working with a server, or in this case, we're not interacting with any server, so it's very straightforward. It's very simple stuff, very simple use case stuff of forms and how to do it in React. So I think the logical thing would be to start by creating a simple UI for the form. I mean, like let's build the UI first and plug in some states there to handle some
Mhm.
things. So I'm going to create a form, a component. And I'm going to name it form. I'm going to create a component, name it form, and then basically the form will return something. So I'll wrap the return here. And then now I have my form, it's very simple component created already. I call it form and it's going to return GSX. So I'm going to come in here and then put some simple GSX here. So I basically want a div, uh, like what Ali showed us before. I want a div that will wrap everything, both my form and yeah, my form basically. I'll wrap my form, and then I want a form inside of my div, a form here. So this form will still plug in an event listener here, and then the form will take in two inputs, one an input, and then the other a text area. So the input will go here, input of type text, placeholder, and put the placeholder here of name,
Your name.
name. Then I'll
Okay.
come here, yeah, name. Then I'll come here and put text area. And let's that this is not the ideal way to actually use forms because if you're working with forms, you kind of want to work with using and you can actually like make your text area bigger by using calls and rows just to make it to determine the size. But yeah, if I'm working with like with an input or a text area, I basically want to have a label that describes what the imp is actually doing. But in this case, we might not use a label just for what we're trying to achieve. So let's just go ahead and get it working. And yeah, the name is also a very good attribute to add to your input elements because I mean, you can name it some message. It doesn't need to change anything for now, but you
Yeah.
can just put some name, something. Yeah, so I can make this one. I don't need an ID for now. So I can just give you guys placeholder as well. Placeholder, placeholder of enter a message or something or message just to get it going. And yeah, I think from here I can then add my button and we'll be good to go. So my button will basically say for now to say submit according to what the UI
Yeah.
already showed. So the button will say submit. So this is a very simple and minified version of the form that we are trying to achieve. We just need to style it and add some other dynamic rendering to get stuff set up. So so I'm just going to come up here and import use states so Ali can take it from there. Let me import use states from here from React. Use states is the hook we'll be using to manage states in our app. I think in future episodes we should probably teach like better way to handle states because when you're building more complex things, you need things like Redux and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I said Redux. Yeah, you need Redux toolkits in the future, but But there are also native things like reducers and context that we can use to handle prop passing down and then state management. So maybe in the future we should plan an episode to teach it because it was one of the things I struggled with myself.
Yeah.
But I'm done setting up a simple UI and state. So Ali can take it from here.
Okay, so thank you, Toby. Like Toby did made a components form, and inside of that form, it has input that we can enter our name and a text area where we can write our message and a button for submitting the form. So right now, I have to run the project, which I didn't do it at the beginning of live stream, but I'm going to do it right now. So in order for the project to see the change, we have to run the project. We can say npm run div. When we run this one, we are going to get a HTTP and localhost. So when we click this one, we can see the project live on the website. So right now we are not seeing the form, so we just see the hello world, which in I'm like h1 and hello world. So for the form to see it on the page, we have to export default it, like we have to export it, and we can say export default so that we can use this component on the app.jsx. So we can remove this text, we don't need this one. So we can add the form. Let's say we are getting some options. So when I click this one, it's going to add the form component automatically. So we can close it. So right now, you see, oh, we need to add some styling because that's not looking good. Like we get this input, we also get this text area and a submit button. So let's add a simple design, like a simple styles, so that we can see it clearly. So we can go to the target the input. Like first, I want the form, like input text area and button, to be flex row. So for that, I'm going to use flex, and the flex direction must be colon. Sorry. Okay, right now I get the name, and for each like the input and text area, I'm going to give them a fixed width of 96 and a border, and border should be blue, something like that. I'm going to copy this class name and add this to the text area. And you see when I click the text area, we are getting a dark outline, so I don't want it. So the way to remove it
Yeah,
is saying outline none for both input and text
on
area. Oh, wait, outline. Okay, right now let's add some padding, like padding 4. I think that's a lot, but we can check it. And that's a lot, but that's good. Let's give them a gap of 4, and we can come to the app and give the app some padding as well. Okay, I know we can see it. And also let's give the button some styles as well. So I'm going to say the width must be 24 and the PG must be blue and dark blue, and the text must be white so that we can see the text. And let's give them a padding block of
pardon.
4. Right now that's good. Like
Mm,
around it, MG.
okay.
Okay, right now, like it's not similar to this one, but the point of this live stream to show you how to work with the logic, like how to work with state management, and we don't really care about the styling. Okay.
Yeah, this is Graham was like Graham in the comments is making some he's making some comments in the comments, I guess. So he said, "Oh no, did you remove outlines? So why did you odd me early?" So I guess Graham is going kind of uh or wild about maybe your accessibility stuff here. Sorry, Graham.
Uh,
Sorry, we already yeah.
like
Ali,
outline,
yeah.
yeah, like for most of my project I'm going to remove the outline, and instead of outline I'm going to use the border itself. Like I'm going to say like the border is light, like a light color, but when I focus it, like when I click it, the border color must be heavy, like must be dark. So that's the way that I'm using every time. So that's why I'm removing the outline, but we can stick with this one. Okay, Toby, you can continue from now on.
Yeah, of course, of course. So
Yeah.
let me just put this Graham's comments by the side here so that people who are out there that are doing forms wrong, because mind you, in production you might need to make some improvements to your HTML and your semantics and your accessibility part of your HTML so that other users out there can, yeah, can have access to, can basically use your applications, because not everybody navigates your website the regular way you would want to when you're testing. So let me just continue from where Ali stopped and put some other juice, add some other juice to this form and get it, make it better. Basically, we just achieve the purpose of this live stream. So Ali has done some stuff here. He added in the inputs in the text area. I noticed that when I started, I said we should definitely make sure you add like labels to your inputs and text areas whenever you use them, so that it can help users and stuff, and help people be able to interpret what your form is actually, what your inputs are actually doing. So from here, I'm just going to go on and book in some states here, and we're going to write our event handler function that will help us to undo to listen to the on submit event in React. So let me come here and then sorry, caps up. Let me come here and then create two states. So I'll create two states. So one state would undo name for me, and the other would undo message. So I have this here, use state, each state of it's be an empty string to start with, and then I'll sorry, set name, not message.
Yeah,
Then, then
said name.
yeah, const message, message and set message. So I have this here. So this will undo my name and message state for me properly. Now I've created two states, one for message, one for name, that will handle that for me. But I also need like two other states, one that will help me to handle loading and one that will help me to check if the form is actually submitted. So uh, there are like two other states, and both of them are like boolean, so are booleans rather. So I don't really need to add that much. Don't really have to add that much juice to them. I just need to have okay, one that checks if my form is loading, and the other that checks if my form has been. I mean, if the page is loading or something, my data when my data is about to be submitted. So like there's that phase where you like have a loading. Maybe you're like trying to simulate, you are working with an API or something, just for good UX. And then there's
Mhm.
one that helps us with
Yeah.
if the form has been submitted or not. So I'm just going to add that here and say const is submitted and set is submitted. This is like naming conventions for React. For those of you that might not be familiar with React, so React always has like this normal name for the state you're working with, and then the setter function of the state always has set before it. And we're using camel case to basically make it look this way. So just how React has its weird ways of working. But yeah, use state. So by default, a Boolean state should be false. It's easier to work that way because whenever you're making a change, probably tell you to true or something. So it's easier to
Yeah.
have a Boolean state initialized as false because it's easier to work with. So this one will be is loading and set is loading. So this will be use state. This one will be false as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
So there are two states I've created now. Now to actually write some logic to hook my form into, I can just do something really simple, and then I can just have Ali take over from there because we still have to do some conditional rendering that would
Mhm.
improve
Yeah.
more on user experience. Mind you, this is a minified version of handling forms in React. We are teaching you the basics that you can then build upon to improve and then make some improvement to the code we're giving you now, because this collaboration is just like to help you guys figure stuff out and know, okay, this is where I should start from. And I can build on top of it. We're not giving you a finite solution to your problem, but we're giving you a solution that handles the fundamentals to some extent. So
Mhm.
here, so yeah, I'm going to do an on submit event listener here, and then I'm going to write the event handler function in the component before the return, because you can write JSX, I mean JavaScript in the JSX doesn't just work that way. So that React is the weird way React works. So this is going to be on submit, sorry, on submit, handle or handle on submit or something. Yeah, I can name it handle on or handle submission. And I think that's like a better function name, handle submission.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
I can come here and click on handle submission, and then I'll do here. I'm going to listen to an event. I need to grab that event. So I'm writing an arrow function here, mind you. Another React convention, best practice. I can still write a normal regular function, but I can just use an arrow function as well, just for better experience, and so you can easily people can easily read your code, I guess, because I don't know, it might be good to some extent. I feel like it's good, but
Mm-hmm.
this is where
Yeah.
I've seen like conventional codes in production written. So I've written the handle submission and I've grabbed the event, and then but by default there's a weird behavior that when you submit the form, it always
Mm-hmm.
like refreshes or something. It's the normal form events that happens for like the unsubmit event. So I need to actually stop the propagation of that event by using prevent default. So I can just grab that event that I'm listening to and prevent default here. So I prevented default for that event that is supposed to propagate to the top. So I've stopped that event from happening. So whenever you submit the form and when you click on the submit button, rather, it's going to refresh the entire page and clear all our states because we don't want that to happen. So we're preventing defaults here. So now that I've done that, I feel like I should pass it back to Ali to like do some stuff. Then we'll come back to me. Yeah, Ali, go ahead.
Okay, so that's a great job, Toby. Like Toby made four user state, like state management, one for input, one for message, and one for submit is the form is submitted or not, and one for is loading. So, like as he said, like when we submit the form, like if we don't write or use this event dot prevent default, when we submit the form, it's going to refresh the page, and we won't be able to achieve the results what we want. If for that, we have to use the event dot prevent default, so that when we submit the form, it's not going to refresh the page anymore. So, right now, what we have to do is I'm going to get the value there are two, like one is for input and one for text area. So when I write something in the input and also in the text area, I want to get the value. So for that, I'm going to say const input value, which is coming from the event dot target target. It's going to be the first array because this is the first one, and dot value. Same for the text area message. So message value event target. So it's going to be the second array, like the second item. So it's going to be one index one and dot value. I want to console.log the both value to see whether it is working or not. So I'm going to console.log
Mm-hmm.
input value as well as a message value. So when I open the
Mm-hmm.
dev tools and let's go to the console. Okay, we don't see anything. Uh, that's weird. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Added fixed width, so we are getting a design problem, but no problem. Okay, right now it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Yeah.
let's write something. Like I want
Okay.
to write my name, Ali Reza, and let's type something like it is working fine. So when I submit the form, I have
Mm-hmm.
to see the value of my name and also the message in the console. Okay, right now it's working like Ali Reza, and the
Mm-hmm.
message is it is
Mm-hmm.
working fine. So you see, like it's working fine. So all we
Okay.
need to do is to change the value of the name and also the message. So we can come and we can
Yeah.
set
Yeah.
the name to be input value, or we can change this variable to be name value, name variable. Name value, and also set the message to be message
Mm-hmm.
value. Okay, so right now
Mm-hmm.
when we submit the form, like I'm going to also change the value of is submitting. So the default value is false. So when I submit the form, I want this value to be true so that we can see the message. So before changing the value of name, I'm going to say the form
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
submitted. I'm going to change the value to be true. So, and also about the set loading, like we can also use that here, like set loading. Like when we submit the form, we can see a text like it is showing that it is loading. So please wait a second. The data is going to be stored in a database so that we can send you back the response. Okay, so let's change the set
Yeah,
loading to
yeah.
be true. And after all
Mm-hmm.
the value, like is the form is submitted and the value of name is changed, the value of message is changed. So I want the set
Mm-hmm.
loading to be false
Mm-hmm.
because everything is done. Like we add the
Yeah.
name, we add the message, and yeah. And also, it's working fine right now, but we can talk, like there will be an issue, but we can talk about it later. So we can move on. So if you see the demo here, like when I write my name and a message, when I submit the form, like it's loading. Right. Okay. So when the form is submitted, like it's going to be removed. Like we don't see the input, we don't see the text area, we don't see the button. So all we can see is the welcome and the message. So we can say, like we can delete this form and add a logic. That's why we are using the is submitted. So if we can add uh, a logic and say if the form is submitted, then you have to display something like, wait a second, div h1 submitted.
Mm-hmm.
If the form is not submitted, then you have to run the form, like this component, like the input, text area, and button. So that's why we are using the
Mm-hmm.
it's submitted, and whenever we submit the form is going to be true. So that if the it's submitted the value is true, we don't see this component anymore. So for a demo, like I'm going to write my name and write something like it it is working fine. So once I submit the form, we see the component and form is being removed. We see the text submitted. So instead of seeing this text, we have to see this welcome, the name, and the message that we are going to get from the data.
Yeah.
Okay, Toby, you
Mm-hmm.
can continue from now on.
Oh yeah, thank you. Awesome. So you said that was very good uh explanation and demo of how conditional engine works in React. So what you just showed you now was just conditional engine. Basically what you did was have a ternary operator. So based on the condition that is submitted is true, you want to render if you submitted is true, you basically want to render submitted. That is when it is true, which is why we just wrote it submitted like that there. We didn't have to equate it, do like a strict equals equation equality to the variable, I mean to the value true or string true or something. We didn't have to do that, we just wrote it right there. So if it's true, it should render the JSX there. And if it's false, to render the form back for you, which means that you actually have not submitted the form. That is why we are seeing the form. So it's just conditional 100, and that was what you just showed. Good one, Ali. So let me go back to the to what you just did now and just improve the GSX so that we can do some styling and all that stuff. So coming back here now, I'm just going to take out what you did here. So basically we just want to show like a message that okay maybe welcome or something. Can I see the demo to see the message on the demo? I can know what to
Okay,
write again. I wasn't
okay.
Yeah, so it says
Welcome.
welcome, then the name, right? And then there's like
Yeah.
this is the message you wrote for us. Okay, okay, okay. Makes sense. So let me just do that and hook it up. So yeah, basically I'm just going to use an okay, using an H1 here kind of makes me feel somehow because accessibility and semantics. But let me just let me just follow this through and we can improve it later. But this is really bad, and like this is actually really bad. Like the semantic data. We're not using our tag semantically, and we're like breaking a lot of accessibility stuff. But
Yeah.
let's just get it working.
Yeah.
So for now, so welcome my name. Then they have like another message at the bottom. So I can put this like a div. Let me put this two in like a view.
Like
Oh
you can
shit,
use the
let me not come down.
name
What's going on?
inside the h1
Okay, I'm
element
following you. That's why.
as a span.
Oh, okay, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I made this guy expand
Like you
so
can
that it should be
use it.
inline instead
eh,
of block.
Yeah, and also you can use it inside the h1 element. Like feel free to use that.
Oh yeah, that's true. That
Yeah.
actually does work. Sorry, yeah, that actually does work. And it still keeps the yeah, that works. Yeah, so I can put this guy here. Then
Yeah.
I come back here. Then I do my this is the message row for us, and then another p tag to render that. So p well, I don't have uh, uh, Emmet or intelligence to help me complete myself because I
Okay.
didn't live check.
I
So
can
there's
take
like
it.
this
I
is
can.
message
Yeah.
create
Okay, this is the
message
message.
pause. So then I have like
Okay.
this, then I have P here to
Hmm.
render.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, it actually does work on my end. So P and then I have the message here. So that does the trick on. Let me see what it looks like though. Let me see. Let me see what I've been doing.
Okay, let me refresh
Okay,
and
so that looks.
give
Let
my
me see.
name.
Try to submit something.
It is fine. Okay. Let's submit the form. Okay, we can see the text. Like, welcome, Ali Reza. This
Welcome
is the
Ali
message you
Reza. It's
wrote
like
for
a gap
us,
thing,
and it is
and
working
then this
fine.
is the
Yeah.
message you for. So I need that to be kind of bigger.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah, I need. Yeah, because the span still kind of like keeps the spacing. So if I put the spacing back, the Ali Reza has the spacing again.
Yeah,
Does
there's
does it
space
work?
between
Let me see.
the
Graham just
welcome and the
suggested that.
name. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it works. Thank you, Graham. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Welcome, Ali Reza. This is the message you wrote for us. So I'm
Yeah.
going to kind of like increase the text size of this welcome and stuff and make it a bit bolder because it follows what the design suggests. So I'm going to make this like like text because I didn't Tailwind. Maybe in the future we should probably like use vanilla CSS first. I don't know. But like yeah, so I can use like text, it's like Excel or 2XL. I mean 2XL. I like using like my Tailwind with normal sizing though. But we can just use the built-in classes Tailwind as. So 2XL, what does it do?
Like use
I
for
don't I don't see
Excel.
it. Does it work?
Yeah, it is working fine, but it's too small.
It's not working.
Like let's
What's going
use
on?
for Excel. It's working fine, Toby.
Oh,
Yeah.
4XL, okay. Let me see.
Okay, we can see. Like
Oh,
the
it
text
is
is
okay.
bigger.
So
Yeah.
2XL, I guess 2XL. Then I can make come here to this span last name. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. PG. I can make this guy PG have a background. I think there's a bit of a lag in the network, but I
Yeah,
can
it's
still hear
something
you.
like
So
BG
PG
Blue.
blue.
Yeah.
I basically yeah
Like
PG blue
BG.
maybe like 600, and then I want the
No,
text to have
it's
a blue color. Text blue like yeah.
like the BG like
Okay.
is it
Yeah,
has
so
to
maybe
be
to
something
have like
like
700
200.
or something, so that
Yeah.
the
The
background will be a bit thicker than.
uh, right now I think the background should be 100 so that we
Yeah.
can see the text. The BG Blue must be light.
Oh,
Right now I fixed it. Like I put the value of blue to be 100. Like BG
lighter.
Blue
Okay, you
100.
can make the
Yeah,
fix. I
light.
can't really hear you. It's breaking.
Uh, Oh, right now is it can you hear me?
Oh, okay, blue 100. Yeah, yeah, it's breaking, but I think I can still manage to hear you. I think you're saying 100 or something. I'm coming. Let
Okay.
me try to like give it make increase the font size and make it bold a bit. So font like bold, and then it's text 700 BG blue 100, and then I basically want this guy to have like an internal padding all around. So padding of like two works for me. Let's see.
Uh, let's add the padding for
Okay. That is
inline,
it.
not for all the, like we can add
Oh,
px2.
inline.
Yeah,
Yeah,
inline
yeah. Sorry.
padding. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So PX2. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think it's back now. I can hear you better. PX2.
Okay, that's good.
PX2. Okay. So okay. I didn't see the bold, so I'm not sure. Is the font bold even working?
Yeah,
Supposed
yeah,
to
it is
supposed to be
bold.
applying right now.
Yeah, it is bold.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, awesome. So then there's like this is the message you wrote, and then okay, I can't remember what the UI looks like again. I need to see it again. Or the design looks like. So welcome, Ali Reza. This is the message you wrote for us. Okay, and there's like okay, okay, it's like in quotes. Okay, yeah, the message is in quotes, and then it's kind of big. So yeah, I can just do that easily. So let me come back here. I'll put the message in quotes here. So I basically need to write like probably need to use template literals or something. Yeah. So I'll
Oh,
do
you can
like
use
templates
it
literals.
outside of it.
Oh yeah, that works too. That works too.
Yeah.
I wanted to use template literals. That works too. Yeah. Yeah, so I have like message in quotes, then I can just come
Yeah.
here and make it bigger. So I can just like class name, and then give it a text, maybe like Excel or something. Let's see what does it look like.
Let's be something like two Excel, and it should be
Oh,
italic.
two Excel.
Yeah.
Italic, okay, okay, okay. Two
Yeah.
Excel. Wait, how do you do italic in Tailwind again?
Like
I don't
just
use that
write
very often.
italic. Just write
Oh,
italic.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's convenient. So italic, yeah, text to like, oh
um,
okay, that's nice. I see it. Awesome.
mm,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, so awesome. Thank you very much for that tip, Graham. And yeah, Codex, it's every Saturday. We just did it Friday that time because I had like exams the next day. So
Mhm.
yeah, so this is what we actually wanted to achieve, and then we actually got to achieve. I mean, it looks close to the UI, to the initial implementation, and we were able to demo conditional rendering and do some states. Though this might not be how you would handle states in production for app that you actually be paid for to build, for whatever apps you be paid for. You might need to use more better state management solutions, maybe Redux toolkit or write your own reducers and use context if you like the stress. But it's actually a good learning experience though. But in this case, we're just using like four states because we're building a very simple and unified application and basically just
Yeah.
achieve purpose we want. The form, submit, and then control entry. So I think we can still improve this. Or what do you think, Ali?
Yeah, we can improve it.
Yeah, like generally, what would you suggest could be as improvements?
So my suggestion will be like add the margin top for this text. For this
Okay.
text, like we can say give them margin top something like 20, so that there is some
Okay.
gap between the text and the message. And
Mm-hmm.
also there is an issue
Ah,
like
responsiveness.
no
Okay,
no
yeah.
the no it's good. The issue is like when I submit the form, like I don't want to write anything. Like I don't want to write the name, the message.
Mm,
But if we submit the form, it's going to be submitted. Like we don't see the
yeah.
name, we don't see the
Yeah, exactly.
message. So we can
So
give it a
validation.
like yeah, we can give it a
Yeah, so
logic. Like
form
we can
validation.
say like if the value of input, like if there's no value
Mm-hmm.
and there's or if there's no value in the message, then you don't have to submit the form. So we can achieve
Just
that.
submit.
Yeah, like we can come to the handle submission form, like function. So at the bottom of this name value and message value,
Mm-hmm.
we can add if statement, and we can say if name dot value dot length, you're going to use length, is equal to 0, or if the message dot value dot length is equal to 0, all you have to do is to return nothing. That's it. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
when I
Yeah,
refresh the
yeah.
page,
Mm-hmm.
when I submit the form, it's not going to be submit like work like submitted because the value of
Going
name
to do it.
input
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the message is empty.
Exactly.
So that's all what we want. Like if the user didn't write the name, didn't write
Mm-hmm.
any message, then the form must not work. So that's the logic that we are using right now. And
Yeah.
also, there's something else, like the one last thing. And when I write the name and a message, so when I submit the form, we don't see the loading. So it's going
Mm-hmm.
to instantly, the form
No.
is going to be
No. Yeah.
submitted. So for doing that, we can,
Yeah. Instantly.
yeah, we can say set, we can add a set timeout.
Set timeout.
Yeah, set timeout and
Mm-hmm.
say after 1 second, you can submit the form. But this is not you have to do every time. This is
Mm-hmm.
what, like when you are signing as a user, like when someone is signing, into our website, so it will take some time. Like it will take some seconds so that we can send the data of the user to the database. So while sending the data, we have to see something on the page, like loading, something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
But for this is for a demo, like for practicing. So after 1 second, set loading to be false. So at the top we can set the loading to be true so that we can see the text. So we can come back to the button and say, uh, let's give it a
Mm-hmm.
if a statement and say if loading is true, then you have to return loading, loading
Yeah.
text.
Yeah.
If not, the submit text will be good. Okay. Right now when I write something, my name, and it is working fine. So when I submit the form, you see the loading. So after 1 second, it's going to be submitted.
Mm.
Like let's do it again. Let's try something. After 1 second, loading. Okay, we see the result. And that's all from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What did you say?
Like that was all from me. And
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can. I can. I can. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much for that, Ali.
Yeah. Okay, I think we are done. Like this is the
And
result. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We've achieved basically the purpose of the live stream, and we're able to get what we wanted working. So I think it works fine. It works fine, but like generally or personally, rather, I think that's much better. Personally or by convention, or if you wanted to like follow standards, I would not make a form like this in my own application because you
Yeah.
might still need to make a lot of improvements to make this form actually meet all standards, both in semantics,
Exactly.
both how you're handling your states, how you're writing your logic, how you're handling
Uh-huh.
accessibility and all those things. So you would have to make a lot of improvements to this to make it standard. But fundamentally,
Exactly.
this achieves the purpose of what the form is supposed to achieve. So you're grabbing the data from the user, you're manipulating it, and you're using that data and passing it like through a funnel into some
Mm-hmm.
other part of the application. So like functional engine and stuff. So I think it
You're
achieves the
right.
purpose
Yeah.
of what the form does want to do, but you might just need to make some
Yeah.
improvements to make it standard. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
grain of salt. So so I think that's all for now for my end.
Yeah. So,
That's all
yeah,
for
to
my
be
end.
your,
What do you
yeah,
think, Ali?
okay, you are absolutely right. What you said about like the way that we are using right now for submitting the form. So you see, like in while you're working, while you're making a project, so there are so many ways that we can achieve that design. Like for this one, for example, like this form, like this is the way, one way of doing it. So there is so many ways that we can achieve the result with the same functionality, like by using the on change for each input and message, and yeah, and etc. So yeah, and to be honest, this is not the way that um I'm not using this kind of way like for any of my project. So for demo, like this is the first way that you can achieve. But remember that there are lots of other ways that you can use that way in order to achieve any functionality. Don't just stick in one. way.
Mm-hmm.
Use different ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. I agree with that, Ali. And yeah, from my end, I think this pretty much does achieve the purpose of the live stream and the
Mhm.
idea we had in mind. Um, so so regarding like improvements and stuff, we might not have enough time to make all the improvements now, but we managed to make some improvements that would handle some simple validation for you. So but ideally, it's probably like regex or have like there are libraries that handle forms for you, like Formic or well, I know some libraries in React to help you like
Mhm.
formatting and all those things, and they have some things like validation, regex,
Yeah.
or if you want to write your own regex, you can do that as well from your
Mhm.
own vanilla form. I think that's a better way to put this. Yeah. So and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I think that's all. It's really fun working with forms because CRUD applications are basically just reading data, writing data, and
Mhm.
updating them and all that stuff. And you have to use forms a lot for simple CRUD applications. So
A lot. Yeah.
yeah, especially when working with servers, it's more fun. So so I think that's all from my end,
Yeah. That's
and
all, like.
yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
all. That's all. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts, like about the project, like about the design that we did today. I think it was good. We achieved the point of the live stream. Like we learned about the state management, like different ways, like about the input and the text area, like how to handle the form. Like you can also use, like we learn like it's better to use different ways, not only one way. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And Thunderdome, said something in the comments. Said thanks for this was awesome. Thanks for the stream. I think most people will be using Redux Toolkit and I would say React Query. I think for such things. But this was a good bare bones for form for a quick demo. Yeah, thank you, Thunderdome. Much
Yeah,
appreciated. And Marius says, good job. I'll implement this form into my portfolio project. Oh, that's very nice. You probably
that's
make some
nice.
improvements though to so that people will hire you.
Yeah.
Yes, I just kidding. But yeah, you should definitely make some improvements.
Mhm.
So I think that's all for my end, and
Yeah,
thank you to everyone that made it today from LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch. Thank you all for tuning in and stopping by. We appreciate the support, and we definitely have some more awesome things planned for you. And yeah, and I really love doing this, and yeah, it's always fun to come here
exactly.
every Saturday by 12 p.m. my time. I think 8 p.m. is time. I can't remember. 7 p.m. right or
Yeah,
8 p.m.
7 p.m. Yeah, 7 p.m.
Yeah, definitely. So
Yes.
we have like a time zone difference. We have like a time zone difference. So so that's all from my end, and have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and
Yeah.
have fun. Keep coding, or
Yeah.
maybe don't code.
Uh,
Just have fun and watch movies.
yeah. Yeah. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. See you.
Yeah, bye everyone.